Going over to the Culture Pride podcast, you have a Blackhawk Helicopter ruining volunteer supply sites. Is FEMA sabotaging? This is very interesting. Now, we've had FEMA, I won't say drop the ball or crash like a Boeing airplane, but not doing great and getting a lot of bad PR, specifically when they're turning away supplies because they're not on the approved list of vendors, telling people they can't help just to send money, which who the hell knows where it actually goes at the end of the day. And now we may even have sabotage. Now, again, this is just a clip. We don't. We'll see what comes. At the end of the day. But this is brought to us thanks to End Wokeness on X, and he says, "quote." And actually, let me know in the comments. Do you call it X or do you call it Twitter? Or do you call it X Twitter? Is it finally at the point where you can all just call it X? Maybe a fun little poll. Let me know in the comments. Now, again, End Wokeness says, "quote." Another video of a volunteer supply zone getting totally ruined by a Blackhawk in Western North Carolina. WTF is going on? And it's like about 18 seconds long, but you see here. Got a big old Blackhawk helicopter. Perhaps the only cool things, to me, the coolest thing Sikorsky makes, which subsequently is bought by Lockheed Martin for a fun business trivia. And we got the helicopter hovering, and it starts to go down. So it's blowing away tents and supplies from this volunteer area. So it went down enough to destroy that area, cause havoc, and then it went right back up, and now it's flying away. Yeah. Now, again, in terms of what is Sikorsky? What is a Blackhawk? Well, Lockheed Martin is the largest defense contractor on the planet, making pretty much the best gear on the planet for the military, made in America. And they bought out Sikorsky, which used to be one of the best helicopter manufacturers, bar none, making both helicopters for private news use as well as they had the military contracts for the Blackhawk, the iconic helicopter. Now, in terms of civilian ownership of a Blackhawk helicopter, it was like many things. You can buy a tank if it's been demilitarized, or they basically remove the firing components, which shouldn't have to. It's unconstitutional to just be able to buy it outright. But I partially digress. Now, the odds of this being a private-owned Sikorsky Blackhawk, it's not zero, but it's so infinitesimally small. And I mean, again, I'm just pulling these numbers out of the air. Like, what is it? Like less than 1%? Like, how many people privately own a Sikorsky Blackhawk helicopter? And another thing that as youth might say is sus, which, I mean, why did it just went down just enough to blow things away and cause havoc, and then just proceeded to leave? It's really unusual. Again, these are marvels of engineering technology. I mean, for better or worse, the U.S. has the best logistics and in terms of the military knowledge and research development, in terms of just knowing where to put stuff. I mean, pretty much the best logistics on the planet, best technology on the planet. There's no way this helicopter just thought, "Oh, whoops, this is the wrong place. I'm not supposed to land here." Like, what are the odds of that? Like, less than, like, 0.001%? So that's why, I mean, I just can't help but think, for sure, unusual behavior. And I can't but wonder, is it sabotage? Because, again, we've heard multiple times from FEMA, they only want you to send them money. If you're not an approved list of vendor, you're not supposed to send them any materials. The government is actually discouraging citizens to actually go there and help out or volunteer. It's which is also no big red flag in terms of the government. So that's why I'm personally a little bit suspicious in terms of who is actually ordering this helicopter around. And again, it was so intentional. It went down just enough, then all the things blew away, and then it left. Like, it didn't even attempt to land. It's very suspicious behavior. And it went pretty viral. Again, maybe this will be debunked by the time I'm uploaded it. Who knows what it really is? Maybe but they do say yesterday's conspiracy theories is today's reality, or as Alex Jones might say, "Oh, this helicopter's gonna come with FEMA. You don't want the volunteers. I'll tell you what." Which it's probably the worst Alex Jones attempt of his accent you've heard all year. But the attempt was nevertheless made. Now, this got 9.2 million views as well as 56,000 likes. And let's see some of the top comments here. The first one comes from Amuse saying, "Do we know who is operating these Blackhawks? If we know the place and time, we can use flight tracking software." Getting 3.9 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, "I imagine at the direct orders of Kamala Harris and Mayorkas," getting 2.3 thousand likes, which Mayorkas was, he was actually busy shopping for fancy clothes. Which, first of all, men don't do. I think men buy clothes once every decade, approximately. And yet, during the time where you're supposed to be doing your job, Mayorkas is out shopping for fancy clothes. Granted, it's the public sector, so he won't be held accountable or fired or reprimanded in any way. but also kind of highlights the ineptitudes of the public sector. Paul Zupa also says, quote, looks like a certain sabotage to me, getting 2.3 thousand likes. Livercat Media TM says, quote, the government is purposely sabotaging and thwarting any and all civilian support and aid and rescue recovery efforts. They don't want the help and guaranteed connected to the election somehow. Slow walking aid and help means people are unable to vote, getting 379 likes. Craig Chamberlain says, quote, I can see this being an accident if it only happened once, but it's really bizarre to see it play out multiple times, getting 777 likes. Let's see here. Mr. Common Sense says, Green Jean Pierre, although I thought that was Sideshow Bob for a little bit from The Simpsons, it's oddly reminiscent, especially in the orange jumpsuit, but nevertheless, says, quote, Green Jean Pierre just said it is a category false, and that FEMA uses its funding to resettle illegal aliens. This is despite the fact that they advertised directly on FEMA's website. Yeah, about that. Be kind of depressing to see where all of our tax dollars are going. Like, pretty much everywhere on the planet and to every other citizen except us. I got 1.6 thousand likes. Crazy Moments also says, why did an unmarked Blackhawk rotor wash a supply drop off in western North Carolina? Really? They did it again? All right. So this is a Blackhawk flying. It says, we had a meeting with all parties involved at this site and established it as a no-fly zone, no drop zone, zone hours before, and had sent crews resupply in another area. This was not one of our helos. Let's see. Oh, loud obnoxious music. So it says they flew in and hovered around for a little bit, looking like they wanted to land despite our signals telling them did not land. They then dipped down and performed a rotor wash, which is deemed deliberate, then flew off, destroying a lot of staging area and harming people directly below them. In the staging area, I was conducting a canine security sweep across the parking lot. They say they could clearly see the supply setup, blue tents, etc., and see this was not a landing zone. They also say 40 minutes prior to this, 2 unmarked black SUVs running blue lights rolled in, circled around immediately left. They were not local law enforcement and were not affiliated with it. Who are they and why do they do this? Yeah. Pretty suspicious. They got 2.7 thousand likes. Let's see here. Holdy says, and meanwhile, it's an article from military.com, published October 7th, saying, quote, Marines fly in food, shelter kits, tarps to aid Philippines after typhoon destroys homes, which, yeah, makes sense. Again, it's another country, so they gotta help them out first. Getting 1.4 thousand likes. Again, this is what I think Trump's message of America First is probably going to resonate now more than ever. We also have Drew in Wisconsin saying, quote, once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action, getting 3.3 thousand likes. Angry Elephant says, quote, wow, this is completely damn footage. It's not a landable zone. That's on purpose. FEMA is a government-run mafia. Getting 4.2 thousand likes, which, I mean, the mafia actually, technically, if you store paid a mafia for protection, they were technically getting a good and or service, which was rendered. So maybe it's not out of the realm of possibilities to argue the mob was actually had more integrity. The bar is certainly that low. So it'll be interesting to see. And we'll do one more. You have David Sullivan, prosecute Fauci pronouns, saying the government does more harm than good. You have a picture of someone drowning underwater with their hand, holding out for help. And the top hand trying to pull it out is the U.S. government, and the hand is illegal immigrants. The government's going after to help it. Then the other hand in the other picture is U.S. taxpayers, and the U.S. government hand, instead of helping, is flipping it off. And that got 806 likes. So yeah, very interesting to see what FEMA's up to. And again, we'll see at the end of the day if there's a thorough investigation. It's a lot of circumstances adding up, but let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts? Because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.